It's hot today. Hi, I've just had to use my home phone to ring my mobile phone because I lost my phone, and it was actually in the garden because I was in the garden before and I didn't know where it was. So luckily I've still got a home phone. So I had to use my phone to phone my phone because I didn't know where it was. Just a bit hot now. I'm a bit tired, so I don't know how this is going to go because I've got hay fever. It makes my eyes water. Whew. Been a nice day. Clear skies, which is what I'm going to bring up in a minute. I've wrote a load of stuff down and it doesn't make sense now. But I think I'll just do a little chat, see how it goes, and then if it carries on, then I might do some more tomorrow. But I'm still out. Let me cool down a minute. But I've still been looking around YouTube, seeing, more lies, more interesting stuff. Funnily enough, someone subscribed, I can't remember who, because I have to get used to new people. And when I came off from earlier on, there was a video, I can't remember who it was, I'll get to know it, but down in Speaker's Corner, somebody's channel, I subscribed anyway, but I can't remember the name. Well, I subscribed to a few channels today. We're talking about flat earth. I'm not going to talk about that today, but it was just funny how I was talking about conspiracies and then I jumped on there because normally the only things I ever see in Speaker's Corner that I've seen is everyone going on about religion, but it was, flat earth, so that was interesting because I do have my thoughts on that. Hi MJ, what time is it over there? Really hot today. What time is it? I need a fan. (3:32 p.m) But I was going to talk about chemtrails and GMO foods and water. East Coast, because if people don't know, they put a lot of fluoride in the water, and I think, well, I've seen videos on it and I do believe it, and that's another chat to talk about, but I think it calcifies your pineal gland, which is, they call your third eye, and you can see that on, if you ask for what view do you call it, in your head view, you can see where your pineal gland is, this little gland, and it calcifies it, and that's what dumbs you down as well and doesn't bring you to, some people say, closer to God or just closer to being awake more, dumb down, like your spiritual self. I live just south is it Erie? Erie? Is that how you say it? I wish chat was, you could hear. And there's a lot of, I used to hear don't drink distilled water, which is what I'm drinking now, because it's bad for you and it's got all this stuff in that you shouldn't have in your body. But then I found out it's actually fluoride water that has all the cack in it and puts all the stuff in your body. I can't remember the right words for it, but that sort of clogs up your body and doesn't draw out what's supposed to be drawn out of your body, I don't know if it's metals and stuff, but whatever it is. So I was doing research on it months back, so I decided to get myself a water distiller, because someone said in chat once, oh, don't get one of them because you'll kill yourself. Still here. So I got myself one, and I'll show you the evidence. So I got this off eBay months ago, and you take this off, it comes off, and you have a big, you get a jug, a big sort of blue plastic jug inside, and you put the jug under this with a little metal thing, and it catches the sort of steamed water, and that's like pure water, pure H2O with nothing in it. And then as I've been using it, this is what you'll find out. So you collect all your distilled water, and at first it was a bit like, well, it does taste weird, but now it's quite sweet. And now if I taste fluoride water from the tap, it's just disgusting. I can smell the fluoride in the water anyway. So I'll show you. So inside, you wipe it out every time you use it, but I've left it a couple of times just to show you. And I'm going to wipe it out. That's what's in the bottom. And when I wipe it out with this is what you're drinking. And this collects at the bottom, so you're not drinking it. This is £50 off eBay. There's day ones, you don't need a day one. That is what you're drinking. So you tell me, over years of drinking fluoride water, that's what you're drinking. Ugh. I'm not drinking it now, but if you want some evidence, there it is. And my dad's actually going to bring well, there you go. But my dad's going to bring like what is it, like a stick thing you put in water just to see how, if I keep doing this, it's because my eye's watering because I've got hay fever. There. Yes, sup up. That's what you're drinking. So then I wonder, when you get things like arthritis and stuff like that, like your bones are feeling creaky, maybe it's because you've got a load of dirt in your joints or something. Because if you're drinking that year in, year out, for the rest of your life, fluoride water, ugh. But I don't drink it anymore. I know it's in everything, like when you have a shower, when you have a bath, but at least I'm drinking clean water now. And then you've got GMOs, genetic engineered food, or whatever you call it, whatever the right word is for it. I don't know what people's thoughts are on distilled water, fluoride water, GMO foods, because I see it like, if it's not from earth and it's not natural and it's man-made, it's not really good for us. Like most things that are man-made that are not really good for us. There's quite a few ideologies out there that are man-made and they're not very good for us. So what do people think about fluoride water versus distilled? Yeah, I've heard that about Brazil nuts. Yeah, see, you know about the calcification of your pineal gland. Because the more I was learning about MJ, you've got to be careful about that as well, because I've seen stuff where you think some of the bottled water is distilled or it's from a fresh mountain, and that's not always true as well. Bit like Evian. What does Evian say backwards? You know when they say about the words and the symbols they use? Yeah, it comes from a tap, probably someone's bath water. You know Evian, we have a bottled water called Evian in the UK. What does it say backwards? Which just makes me laugh. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying it's funny. Seeing as they do use symbols, what does Evian spell backwards? Ooh. Live, reverse, evil. I know, I'm live, I must be evil. Well, that's another thing I might go into. Evian. Hang on. Isn't it naive? Which is the one that's... Evian. But yeah, you have... Some guy was doing a chat on it. They say London water has been recycled 5 to 7 times. Imagine that, drinking someone else's bathwater. That's what I mean. And the guy was doing it exactly. Evian is naive. But But they do say that. They say some bottled waters, you think, oh, I'll get my bottled water in because it's, you know, it's spring water or Mountain Dew water or something, and it ends up being like tap water. Some people name the tap spring water. They can sell it as a water from the spring. I know. Yep, Dad. I might just bottle some up myself from my tap. Probably just some guy stood there with a tap, but it is known, you know, so you've got to be careful. I think doesn't the bottle have to say on the back sourced from or something? Because that's the thing with these GMO foods and different things with different labels. It's how they label stuff. Like we all know on certain labels, well, some people might not know on your food, they put ingredients, but there's certain things they leave out. Yeah, if you want spring water, go to the Czechs. I can't say that. Yeah, they probably have clean, real water. There's certain stuff they leave off that they don't have to put on. And they make me laugh with labels anyway, because they're always big, long words. Who knows what they are, but we don't really take any notice of them. I said a while back, some of your food and your sprays and things you use around the house, when you actually Google what them long names are, it'll tell you, it gives you Alzheimer's, it gives you, yeah, I bet they do up there, I bet they do. You won't get that over here. Leukemia, all these things. But we don't really read labels. You just like, it's like when they say you go to the doctors, you get some medication. Normally you get a big massive sheet with all the ingredients on this, that and the other, the side effects, but to tell the truth, none of us really read it, do we? None of us really read it. We're just like, oh yeah, it's medicine, you know, doctors have approved it or whatever, so therefore we'll take it, and we don't really need to read that piece of paper. You take absolutely no notice of it. I'm not saying everybody does, but most people do. You don't really look at what we're taking. We have great water, but when then put it through centres, they supposedly make it safer. Yeah, they make it safer and then start adding fluoride and all loads of rubbish to it. That is actually dumbing us down. Just like Alex Jones said, all the frogs are going gay, if anyone saw that. And calcifying your pineal, what's it called? Your pineal, I can never say it, gland, which is basically dumbing you down to be a sheep, to be cattle, to not think for yourself, to be a zombie. But what do people think about GMO foods? Because I just think if it's not natural, it's not good, really. Yeah, he does. That's what everyone says. Alex is okay. He's not brilliant. And there's an argument that everyone has with Alex. You know, he's like opposite this or he's... But he does red pill people. So I do watch him. I don't watch him all the time. And the good thing is he does have different people on. Yeah, it is the way to control us. What's Monsanto, Dad? What does that mean? But he does red pill people. And like me, I don't just stick to one channel. I just fly around everywhere. Things pop up. I go in there. Like my dad says, I don't concentrate on one thing. I just go off everywhere. And it's if a conspiracy, I'm just off everywhere on everything. Yeah, GM manufactured. That's what I mean. If it's manufactured. Because if you think about it, years ago, when I was a young lass, where I live now, we used to have the greengrocer's shop, you know, where you go for your, the truth in plain sight, where you go for your veg and your fruit, and they were on the, you know, the streets where I live now, but they're not there now. They went years ago. The last butcher's shop just went a couple of months ago. That's the last one that I know of where I live, because we all have to go shopping at the giant superstores, because obviously that's control. They're controlling what we buy. My dad just told me today, it was hilarious, that, you know, when you go to the checkout, I don't know if they do this in America, but they do here. You go to the checkout, we would have no problems with unemployment if we close the borders. Yep, I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just going to go off on, I don't know, you know what I'm like, I'll just talk about whatever. Because it's very hard when you go to talk about something and then chat comes on, which is fine, and then I go off and it's just, but that's fine. But my dad said today that, I don't know if you have in America, but at the checkout at the till, at the checkout at the till, you have like sweets and things at the till, you know, and you get your kids that are like, I want that. They put things at the till, and I think my dad was saying they were looking into it, the government or whatever, to take those sweets and fattening sugary things away from the till because I'll read that in a minute, because, you know, there's a problem with obesity and kids need to stop eating so much. So if we take that, you know, because they've got to be seen to look like they're doing something, if we take them just away from the tills, that'll help the problem. And it's like, what about all the other crap in the other aisles? Because that's just a little selection of stuff. But like I said to my dad, said it's a joke, but it's just about not eating too much. But they have to be seen like they're doing something, so they're just going to take some of the sweets off the sides. Oh yeah, they did talk about that. They were going to tax fat people. Don't be offended anyone, but that's what people were talking about. Or would they do? Was it a sugar tax they were doing as well? Sugar tax, or because we do eat too much sugar. We do eat too much sugar. That's the thing though, because I probably eat quite a bit of crap because I'm not on loads of money, and that's what they do. If they're getting poor people, happy birthday. You share the same birthday as, I don't know if she's watching this after, Ancestral Cross of 24/7 Soapbox. So if you're watching, happy birthday to you. That's what happens if you're, you know, not very rich and you can't afford it and you're on not very good money. It sounds awful, but mostly the things you can afford are the cheaper stuff, which aren't good for you. And I know that myself because I'm not on a lot of money. So I watched someone once where they were going on about, because I have been vegan before and then I've been plant-based. I'm sort of half and half now. The 4-word diet. Half and half now. Sort of, I don't eat a lot of meat and I try to eat veg and stuff like that. But I remember saying to someone once who was talking about, oh, get all this food in. You know how much food you've got to eat, like when you're just eating plant-based. I can't afford to eat like that. It's, especially with 2 kids, it's getting a lot of fruit and veg in each day, like grow your own. And I'm trying to grow some of my own in the back, but I know that won't amount to much. But that's why poorer people end up buying crap because it's cheaper, but it's absolutely no good for us. Oh, it's all right. Yeah, but it's true though, because I when I tried to spend money on good quality food, I hardly get anything to feed me and my family. So I do a bit of half and half, and you have to sort of budget and stuff. But it is very hard to eat what they're telling to eat fresh fruit 5 times a day. This and the other. It is very, very hard. Well, I think it is. There's a lot of things going on with the government. The government don't help. The government are not for us. The government are against us. I don't care what anyone says. The government are not for us. The government are all about money. Everything's about money. Because it's like the way they in the shops they put where they put things on eye level and that. Exactly, and what is good quality these days? Because everything they're just making full of crap. Like they'll say certain stuff like, "Oh, these chicken nuggets have got 100% real chicken in." No, they haven't. No, they haven't. Yeah, the government, the elites, and all that. They're not bothered. They do things, but it'll be perceived on MSN, mainstream media, that they're doing it for the good when it's not. Um, they want you eating crap. They want you eating crap. They want you eating more sugar because that sends you to the dentist. That's another thing you have to pay for. They want you getting fat and having like getting obese or getting diabetes or all stuff like that, because then you're going to the doctors, you're getting prescriptions, you're going paying for your prescriptions. It's all to do with money. I'm not saying like everybody's corrupt in the government, this, that, and the other, but a lot of people are under control, and it's those that don't care. Yeah, sugar causes depression. You think how much sugar we have today than we did years ago? Oh yeah, mind control, and we know where the mind control comes from, the TV. Um, Sugar's in everything, even things you think it's not in, sugar's in it. Power corrupts an absolute power. Exactly. the powers that be. And that's what I was saying about history. History, we've been told lies about history, and it's normally written by the people who are winning. And the people who've been winning over centuries, decades, whatever you want to call it, have been, you know, rich people, the people in power. They're not bothered. No, it's not bad in moderation, but today we eat too much. We eat too much of everything's, you know, people, I'm not saying everybody does, but not a lot of people eat in moderation these days, because when you start eating too much sugar, you get addicted. Sugar, they said, is worse than cocaine. Sugar is like cocaine. It's like, I know that might sound a bit weird to people, but yeah, you know, history is his story. It's the person who's writing it who's in control at the time, so they'll write what they want. Sugar is an addiction. You do get addicted to sugar. There's a lot of addictions out there. Everyone thinks addiction's just drug, but then again, sugar is a drug. You know, smoking, you get addicted. Sugar is an addiction, and we eat far too much sugar. It's like when you have takeouts and stuff. Chicken nuggets, 100% chicken, correct? Is it the chicken, skeleton's water blasted to... Exactly. They blast a lot of the chicken bits off and stick that in your chicken nuggets. It might be chicken, it's not 100% chicken like the breast or something. Sometimes it's the bits that they blast off the chicken bones, if you look into it. Forgot what I was saying then, Dad. What was I saying? Do you know what? That's one thing. Where are you from? Oh, does it... I'm not happy about how... This is... I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just random now, because whatever. But what everyone seems to be talking about... me too. What everyone seems to be talking about is, you know, religion and history, because that's all anyone's talking about at the minute. Wouldn't it be great if we just didn't have... Do you know what I mean? Those stuck in a labour seat. I forgot what I was talking about again now. What was I saying? What did you just say? Oh yeah, history. Demonising. They do demonise Britain a lot. They're demonising white people as well. Everyone's going on at the minute about white supremacy and this, that. All I can see is people demonising white people, like I said before, and our traditions and stuff. And I'm getting fed up with it now. And talking about the borders, I just watched a video before. I can't remember who it was, because it was just it just randomly came on, and it was some guy that had gone over to, is it Calais, and asking the people that were, you know, trying to come over illegally why they wanted to come over. They couldn't speak English. They were just saying, we want to come to UK, we want to come to UK, and they were like, why? And they went, money. So it was like, right, but I think they think when they're coming in, they're going to get given somewhere, because a lot of people have, you know, somewhere to live and all that, and it's going to be fine and everything. But like I keep saying, you need to come in legally, not illegally. But there's just a lot of things that went on in the past, and it's been written wrong. Like you said, his story. And like, I still keep seeing people now. I was watching some Speaker's Corner again before. People are just going on about this slave thing. I'm sick to death of hearing about it. You know, that's what I mean. People, I've said this, people were selling their own people. Some people who really just listen, I don't know who they're listening to, really believed that it was only white people that sold black people. It was only white people that had slaves. And actually, going off the subject again, because this is a bit of conspiracy theory anyway. Apparently, in Egypt, you know, when they're going about, oh, how were the pyramids made? And this, that, and the other. See if I wrote notes on this, I can't remember. White people were sold too. That's still going on now with everybody, with a lot of people. We're still enslaved now to the system. Yeah, where was it? I wrote something down and now I can't find it. When they were building the pyramids, they were saying, I watched something today on Egypt again, because I like watching different things on it, different takes, and it was saying, some people might have said that the people who built the pyramids were slaves, and they said they did have sort of slaves then, but they were paid, and they were seen as it was an honour if you were on the deconstruction site of the pyramid. That was quite a big honour to be on that destruction, what do you call it, building site for the pyramids. They got paid for it, and they stayed, they slept around that area and ate around the area, and they were okay. And then they said they had what they called slaves then, were more like domestic. I don't know where my notes are, but not made out. They were saying they were domestic, but it was not made out as harshly as people have said it was. Where it is? What did I write down? Yeah, it says they were mostly used for domestic and field work, tasks for the family. Yeah, I was just looking into the building construction and that, because I still believe today everything we've been told about Egypt, even the manuscripts and all that sort of stuff. Because in some of it said that some of the the writings on the wall, not everybody knew how to write like that. They had special, is it scholars that used to write some of that, and they did have their own language without all the pictures as well. But you sort of have to be born into that or something. But I do believe there's a lot hiding about the pyramids. You have the Irish, Italian, Chinese, Polish. Yeah. And they have no problem integrating. That's the other thing, because did anyone go and see the video from before of, this is just a random mixed chat, by the way, about 1980, what did I say it was, 1980 something or 1990 something, the one where they were in the 7-Eleven. And there was everybody in there from all over. That was multicultural, and they were all getting on, and they were smoking, and they were having a laugh, and everyone was happy and smiley. Do you really think in a 7-Eleven everyone would be like that? No, because we're all miserable now. No one speaks to anyone. I know, imagine if we had better technology. We've got better technology they've not told us about. That's what I mean. They all arrived in small numbers now. Now they're like just seeping over, and they're not here for the right reasons. But if you're not here for the right reasons, people aren't going to get on. You can't come to a country, any country, not just ours, and not want to speak the homeland language or whatever. And someone was saying today, I went on Brian London's channel. He lives in Israel, and people always go on about Israel and Zionists and all that, and it's pathetic, because what it is oh, it's all right. What it is the indigenous people of Israel want their country back. Does he confuse you? It doesn't confuse me. People get confused with this Jewish Zionist thing, and it's like the indigenous people of the UK want the UK back. It's, if you were born here, that's great. If you weren't born here and you're coming here from another country, you need to come here legally and abide under British law. Because all I can see that's been going on for years is people taking other people's countries. Well, there's a bit of a confusion with a lot of stuff, but people's true homelands want the people want them back, not the ones that took over years ago. Because don't forget, they'll portray something else. What did they portray on MSN about Israel? And that's another thing as well, because they're always going on about Trump. They're always going on about Russia, and they're always going on about Israel. And I did watch something on that today, and I can't remember what channel it was on. So don't forget, it's a complete opposite of what MSM say. And also, I was watching something before about Glenn Beck, is it? I don't know who he is. He went on CNN, what is it? Oh, what do we call it now? Clinton. What do you call it in America? Clinton Doodah News. I call it crap negative news. Clinton Network News. And I don't know I don't know if MJ knows. It was someone called Glenn Beck or somebody. And he actually walked off the set because, you know how they work, they were going on and they were saying certain stuff about all this, you know, this separation, separating the kids at the border and all that. Trying to blame it on guess who. And he was trying to get it out. And he just ended up walking off because he'd had enough, because he said, you don't listen. You're not even trying to report on it. You're not interested, basically. And he walked off. Yeah, but the real people of homelands are going to be getting them back. And I saw another great picture in Iran today on something. I can't remember what I was watching. Says fight, fight, fight. We stand with you. You know, people are rising. That's great. But yeah, the religious debate going on at the minute, and it is a bit annoying, really, because I've seen quite a few people this week still going on about the slave thing, and it's really getting on my nerves. It's just like, oh my God, will you just research properly? And that's all they bring out. And that's why I said I was watching something the other day. I can't remember what channel it was, if it was Titans TV, I don't know. Somebody brought up white devils, and I don't know who it was talking, because you didn't see him anyway, but he was saying, no, you're wrong there, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then someone in the comments said, why are you sticking up for white people? It's like, why are you painting white people as bad all the time? You obviously haven't got your facts right and don't know, you know, what really went on years ago. Well, you know, the thing is with religion, you know, and there's a lot of people who are religious, it does cause a lot of arguments, and there is a lot of arguments going on about it at the minute, because everyone's always on the verge of, my God's right, this, that and the other, and it does cause a lot of problems. Because if you sort of took that away, I mean, it is to divide us, I can see that, and if you took it away, then what would we be arguing about? Or would we be arguing about the slave thing or whatever? So what if you took that away, then what would we be arguing about? We're always arguing about something. Ah, God was an alien. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, Area 51, what do you think's going on down there talking about aliens? Do you think Area 51 is what they're saying it is, or do you think it's something completely different? That's what I mean. The keep us divided talking about other stuff. It's to distract us from what's really going on. If we were really talking about what's really going on, like we have been doing lately, that's most important. No, what you just think it's a military base? I think I'm not ruling out aliens because nobody knows, but I think, yeah, I'll talk about that secret thing in a minute. Because don't forget, this is fun as well. You don't have to believe it or not believe it, but I think, no, I think, if there is or there isn't, whatever, but I do think this hidden technology, I think it's the hidden technology. There are aliens, in fact, we are hybrid. This is why angels are real. Yeah, I do believe in all that stuff. I believe in lots of different things, because I just think, who really knows for definite? No one can say somebody's wrong or right, because, like, especially what we're finding out now, you'll know that what you've been told is totally different anyway. So if they're saying aliens aren't real, then, oh, Antarctica. What was I doing before? Oh, have you heard about the Anunnaki? I always say it wrong. And the reptilians and the greys. Well, the Anunnaki and planet Nubru, is it? I can never get the names right, but... And then I was looking at something else, and they were going on about... right, I'm really going to go off on one now, but... Has anyone heard about... Yeah, the planet. If we... Has anyone heard about mud fossils and the petrified... Yeah, is anyone... Is it Nibiru? Nibiru? I always say it wrong. I know what I mean, and I know you know what I mean. The petrified giants. My dad's probably gone off now. He hates all this stuff. The petrified giants. Where the Titans. Has anyone watched Daydreamers when he does a lot on I just like it because it's fun anyway, but he does a lot on petrified. Let me see if I can find it. Petrified. Yeah, the Nymphlin, petrified giants and stuff. Because even if people don't believe it, I've seen quite a lot of videos where you think, God, it does look like that. It does look like a giant's head or giant mushrooms, because they reckon. Because if it's a conspiracy, you don't know, do you? Yeah, giants were true. I've seen, yeah, the trees, and that's what I have written it down somewhere, hang on. Yeah, giant trees. So when you get places like, remember, it's a bit of fun tonight, whatever you believe in. The Encounters of the, what's that film called I was saying the other day? Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that big, what's that thing called in the film, that big rock formation thing? Things like that, they reckon, and when you start looking into it, it's like, a giant tree stumps. You know how they'd like cut off, because they reckon they were cut off back in time because Earth was a beautiful Garden of Eden everywhere, and these massive trees, like I said, it's only a bit of fun. You don't have to, start going on one. Like Jack and the Beanstalk. Massive big trees, giant trees would go up in the air through what you call heaven, and there was different realms, so you could go to different realms. They also went down below, like the roots, to different realms, because that saying always pops up everywhere, as above, so below. Well, they chopped them down and the sky fell. And I've heard that if it's as above, so below, as above, so below, if we have waters below, we have waters above. So they fell. Giants got petrified in water and mud and all that mud fossil thing. And now they're saying, and it is interesting, even if you don't think it's real or it's not real, when you see them, you're like, yeah, they do look like that. You'll see mountainscapes and they look like giants' heads, titans. There's things popping up all over the place. And you're like, people say, oh, it's, the weather beating, this, that, and the other. But when you look at them, it's like, why is it quite symmetrical on both sides? If the rain and the wind were beating this side all the time, why is it like quite prominent? But that's just a little one there for your Daydreamers. I quite like him. He talks about the Nymphlin. He talks about Ellie. History is a lie. Exactly. If history is a lie, then we can't really say that that wasn't true, because if we know we've been lied to now, and most conspiracies are true, you can't really not knock it, really, can you? Then we don't really know. Is it the Elohim? The Elohim? Because if you think about it, they say, and this is true, there's a lot of films out there. Well, look what's going on in Hawaii. There's a lot of films out there that pump out all this stuff, and you always think, oh, it's a bit weird that. And they say they're pumping films out, and you just think it's like fantasy, and oh, it's not real because it's only a story, when actually there's a lot of truth in the films they put out, but they twist it. It's a bit like when they do all these snuff films and some of these films like Hostel. You will soon come to realise, if you're following Q, that them films are true. It's what really happens in life. Disgusting as it is, but that's what happens. And when you're talking about, things and myths and legends it's like a story. I mean, the Bible's been a bit like that, where people have said something and things have been took out. They are stories from before that have gone down to each generation, maybe got twisted a bit and forgotten about, and put in a book. Oh yeah, but that's what I was saying about having a laugh. talking about this stuff, and then we can talk about the real stuff, like, what do you think about chemtrails? I'm going to get something at the end of this that is mostly important and the biggest thing that probably woke a lot of people up, especially in America. What do you think about chemtrails? Anyone know what chemtrails are? And I know you get more in America because your skies look like they're full of it. We get it, but not as much as you. Oh, I will get on chemtrails. You can tell the chemtrails. You get a plane going past, you get the trails, they go after about 15 minutes. The other ones stay, and they stay in the air for a very long time, and they spread out. Yeah, they do my head in as well. And they are poisoning us. I don't care what anyone says. That's what they're doing. It's depopulation, depopulation, depopulation. I know more about it than you do. Do you fly a plane? And you'll see them. And lately, it's not been too bad here. It might have been yesterday. It was clear today. It's gone a bit cloudy today. And they don't even look like normal clouds when they spread out. They're not big fluffy things. They're like flat, sparsy, horrible things. Yes, I will talk about that. I can't say it. Problem, reaction, solution to 9/11. Yes, I know my dad wants me to talk about 9/11 because it's problem, reaction, solution. Let me write it down because I forget. With the word that my dad just said there. What do you think about 9/11? Oh, don't get me started on vaccines. 9/11. I remember when that happened, I was working at a nursery and I was just like, oh my God, it looks like a movie being played out. Like, what is this? And then not wanting to watch it, not wanting to see the interviews, but I did, obviously, and cried about that. And it's like my dad said, it's not saying it didn't happen because it did happen. Yeah, and there was a third building that fell, yeah, that not many people know about. And I saw Bush, yeah, Bush was in that he was in a school and it was caught on camera and he was waiting to say something. The kids already knew about that like 20 minutes before it happened or something, or whatever the video was. That was all set up. And you've got to remember, people died and the building fell down because obviously it's not there anymore. But the media were not putting out the truth about why it happened. Yeah, the BBC reported on it before it happened. Why it happened. Because at the end of the day, like my dad said, it's problem, reaction, solution. It's controlled explosives. I said this the other day. If you watch a demolition, I used to watch them ages ago, just like, I don't know, I was just watching them. A demolition, they fall straight down, because obviously they're not going to fall sideways or anything because there's areas that people live in. So they've got to be done in a certain way where they fall down and obviously all the dust and everything comes down. Yeah, my dad says that. Look at the Pentagon. Where did that plane go? In a hole in the ground? Really? Oh, but they found a passport, don't forget. They always find a passport, don't they, amongst everything. But where that plane was never really found, was it? It just went in the ground and disappeared. Never to be seen again. Yeah, it wasn't hit by a plane exactly. And where the hole was in the thingy, well, it wasn't big enough. And also, like I said, it's all to do with, they set that up to do that. So we'd all feel, especially in America, hurt and like disgusted, like, who is to blame for this? Who is to blame for this? So then they shouted out who was to blame for it. So they went to war, because it's all to do with war and money, and it's all to do with going into other countries and taking all their resources, natural resources like oil, because we all know it's a lot to do with oil, putting a pipeline through oil, gold, diamonds, coal, whatever it is, robbing those countries of their rich natural resources. And in with it as well, they're depopulating as well because they killed a load of people in that. They're killing the soldiers. They're killing the people in other countries because it's war and it is and even though it's been set up, they are killing other people. Yeah, killing our soldiers, killing American soldiers, killing other soldiers because they want that anyway. They're not bothered because then it's killing all our strong men off as well. And it's depopulation in the process because they want to depopulate the world. So, because it's that new world order thing, because if there's less of us, we're easier to control, especially the ones who aren't standing up. To be fair, Osbin Laden did tell us to. He did, and the Taliban had given up 3 times, but they wouldn't let them. They'd given up 3 times, but no, they wanted to keep us in war. That's exactly why they've been shouting Russia, Russia, Russia out, Russia, 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 because they were going to do something. They found the uranium or whatever. They were going to nuke America, believe it or not. They were going to say it was Russia's fault, so we'd all go to war again. So we'd all go to war again. History repeating itself because that's what they do, these elites. They're just causing wars time after time after time because it's very, what's the word, lucrative, I can't say it. It's very, well, money, money, money and all the resources and then getting other countries into debt and stuff because they haven't got any resources. Yeah, she's Welsh, my fan way. Yeah, the pipeline. A lot of it's to do with oil. The thing is, they think normal people are thick, but they have they're thick now because we're seeing what they are. Oh yeah, Little Britain, my fan way. Oh yeah, my fan way. I think they thought by dumbing us down because that's what I believe they've been doing with the stuff we eat and this, that, and the other in Crenthouse, dumbing us down so we don't see things. Because like I said, if you think about it, these devices. A lot of people walk around with their head in the phone. So when we've had things like terror attacks and people have got run over on the streets and stuff like that we've had, people haven't really seen what's going on around them because they're too busy, especially in tourist place, because you're taking pictures, you're taking selfies, you're walking around with your head on your phone. So you might have seen something in the corner eye, but you weren't exactly sure what it was. And then you're hearing other people. So then you're thinking, oh yeah, that must have been what happened. So your thoughts are getting distorted and you're thinking someone else's thoughts and then blah, 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 if you know what I mean. What was that? And we're distracted by a lot of things. That's why a lot of false flags go up to distract us from what's really going on over there. So they'll make sure it's going on over there. There's a war going on over it, but let's not look at actually what we're doing over there, really, if you move that out the way. But it's true though. I mean, one of the biggest things, war, it's going to kill a lot of people. It's going to kill a lot of soldiers. People are going to get caught up in crossfire. So that depopulates a lot. And then, as far as I'm concerned with our soldiers of in any country who go to war, it's killing them off. They're the strong, like, patriot, strong ones that want to go and defend the country. Well, let's get rid of them. And then all the weak ones back in the country that aren't really that bothered because we're all distracted, they're easily more controlled. You get what I'm talking about. Dragon energy. Yeah, so I don't know what people think of 9/11, but I know for a fact in America that was one of the biggest things that woke up a lot of people, red-pilled a lot of people. It's like the Bin Laden thing when they said he was dead and all that, and Obama and Hillary watched the video and all that. There's a load of rubbish. Who's ISIS funded by? Who was funding money to ISIS? 7/11, yep. It's all done to get us, like I said before, working on your thoughts and your emotions, not your feelings as in what's right, your emotions, because we get emotional when we see people getting hurt, and then putting them thoughts into your head off the telly to make you think something happened. Yeah, Clinton and Obama, and then you sort of work off your thoughts. You're getting angry about something, so if America had got nuked and they were saying it was Russia, we'd all be like, yes, we've got to go to war, you know, that can't happen to us. But it wasn't. And luckily you didn't. But they did set 2 missiles off a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, but they got shot down. It's all about depopulation. It's like the Skripal thing over here. It's all just a big setup to blame it on Russia. They've got to blame it on somebody to make us go into World War III. Because remember, that's what May was saying. It's calmed down a bit because May was saying it quite a lot, if you remember. Russia, Russia, Russia. And then it was an echo chamber in America with Hillary. Has anyone seen the video where she put the hat on? The big Russian hat, and went, well, if you can't beat him, join him. So, oh. And a doobie. What's a doobie? Is that a gun? What are you saying, Dad? What was that? Free in their own footprint, free fall. Oh, only 3 buildings have ever collapsed due to a fire in their own footprint. Well, there's a lot of things that have gone on. Oh, right, yeah, split. Sorry, I don't, think, I should do. I think everyone should. The right bit of it, though. But yeah, but people say, when you mention 9/11, they always go, well, what are you saying? Loads of people died. Don't be so awful. It's like, yes, I'm not saying people didn't die, and I'm not saying it didn't fall down. If you go and visit it, that building isn't there anymore. It's what was the reason, the real reason that they're not reporting on mainstream media of why that happened and who really did it. It's not what they said it was. It happened, but the reporting of it's wrong, and the reasons behind it. It was to get everyone mad. Obviously, the American people were all like, oh, we need to go, get all our men out there. They wanted to defend the country, couldn't have that happening again. And look how many people have lost their lives in the towers and the great, military and that went over there. There are 2 types of people, those who matter and those who don't. Yep, exactly. We're the ones that don't believe it or not. Yeah, $3 trillion spent in Iraq. See, it's in the trillions, so do you think they're bothered about us? No, they're not. I don't actually know what that is. I might know what it is, but I don't know what's that. People keep saying, oh, what do you think about this? And I'm like, do you mean the Kerry Gesh? Are you talking about that report? Because someone said something beginning with K. Said, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, something about in somewhere beginning with C. No, not C. Morocco, the Marrakesh. Do you mean is it the Marrakesh? Is that what you're talking about, or is that something different? Was it the Marrakesh, or am I just thinking it was something thing? Would Iraq have been invaded if the main export was broccoli? Yeah, exactly, Dad. If the main export in Iraq, which we know was oil, was broccoli, do you think they would have invaded Iraq? No. Oh yeah, I believe that. I've not seen that word before, but I do believe the genocide of indigenous nations. Yes, of course I do, because it's happening. It's happening. That's what I meant before about someone was talking about this. Yeah, the Marrakesh Declaration that was done this year because there's 2 of the Marrakesh plan. Yeah, someone mentioned that, but what I believe is what we know with the Q plan, that it doesn't matter what they put out, it doesn't matter what they sign, it doesn't matter what they really say on MSM, it's not going to happen. I just think that's irrelevant. They can spout all they want out, because it's like like again with the mainstream media, Trump keeps saying things. It's like us with Brexit, we voted, but they're still trying to kick it down the road. Trump's doing stuff, and he's on live saying, yes, I've done this, I've signed this, whatever he's signing, like with North Korea, and they will still go on TV on crappy negative news or Clinton network news, and they will still put out there that he's doing something bad when you've clearly seen him live saying what he's saying, but they will not report on that. They'll just say the complete opposite to what he's doing. He's been to those places where the kids are. Melania's been there, I can never say her name right. And he's saying he wants to keep the kids together, and them pictures that went out was a load of rubbish, because we all know the mother was there and it's a completely different story. And I actually watched a video on that child today with her mum, blah 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 blah. But they will still keep pumping that out because they know, like me and my dad said, they know that there's a vast majority in America. There's a lot that are awake, but there's a vast majority that still watch the TV and still believe the narrative of what the news put on all the time. So they know there's still a lot of people watching them, even though CNN viewers are falling. That still believe what they're seeing on TV. They're not believing the president, and that's probably because, if you think about it, when Obama or Bush or whatever has said certain things in his speeches and said, I'm going to do this for the people, blah, 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 it's bollocks. He hasn't done any of it, because at the end of the day, he didn't bring jobs back for black and Hispanic people, did he? No, I think he brought it down. Trump's done it. People can argue the toff about it. Whatever, he has done it. Stats are out there if you don't believe it. He has done it. There's a lot he's done behind the scenes, but they keep saying he hasn't when he has. And that's probably why they think, and I've always thought that with politicians, like, what's the point in voting? Because most of the times they say they're doing something, they get voted in or rigged, and they don't do anything they said they were doing. They just say that to you at the time, or change it right at the end, to get you in, to get your votes, and then totally don't do what they were saying. So, planes hitting the Pentagon, not a chance, no evidence. That's what I mean. The planes hit the Pentagon, and what, it disappeared in a big hole. And doesn't plane material like crunch up, like what? There was no evidence really found, but there was a passport, I believe, of whatever they were saying was on the passport. There's always a passport, a perfect passport found near the scene of the crime. Yeah, exactly. It was a missile that hit the Pentagon, and they were saying it was a plane. There was no wreckage of the plane. What plane was it? Massive plane, hit the Pentagon, go through the ground, and nothing is found. There's no wreckage. If that's smashed up on the ground, the plane material's quite light. It'd crunch up, nothing. Oh, but there was a passport found. It was a missile. They think that's what they're saying about this. They think we're stupid, that we don't know, or we wouldn't have worked it out. People knew about it or have started working it out. Yeah, see, my dad says. Yeah, no CCTV footage. No, there wouldn't be. Seeing as we live in quite the times where there's a lot of CCTV cameras everywhere, because we're spied on everywhere we go. But what happened? Were they off that day? Were they not working? Did they go off? It's amazing how when the attacks happen, the CCTV cameras always... Exactly, they're always faulty when something major happens. So, isn't that a bit dodgy? Like, they're supposed to be there to help us beat crime and stuff, because people are going to get seen doing something, or they're there to spy on us. And then when something horrific happens, and it's like, well, check the CCTV camera. Oh, they weren't working that day. There's an electrical fault, or we've lost what? Lost a bit like Obama's birth certificate's been lost. They do say in the ideology that you can lie. It doesn't really matter. You can lie to people, because he's saying he's something else. But apparently, his birth certificate was lost. A woman didn't a woman come across him or something? She knew what his birth certificate, what it said on his birth certificate. She was on a plane. The plane crashed into the sea. People were there. She was alive. The next minute she's dead. But there was a picture taken, and there was a frogman, or whatever you want to call it, scuba guy right next to her. Did they know the plane was landing there? Right next to her in the water, and then apparently she drowned. Work that one out. And that's out there for you all to, read about. She drowned. But there was a guy in scuba gear next to her, so it's a bit like the doorknobbing situation that's going on with the suicides that are happening in America. I don't know if any more have happened lately. Oh. Do you know what I mean? When you start looking into things, you're like, well, it doesn't really make any sense, does it? It doesn't really make any sense. There's actually a video, there's videos out there that actually say years ago the CIA actually said that's what they do. They cause wars, they go into countries and they strip all the countries of rich natural resources from other countries. They take it from other countries. That's why they start wars, so they can get in there. They look like they're getting in there, oh, we're all going in to help, the UN and all that. We're all going in to help. But actually, they're not helping. They're stripping countries of the resources. Their resources. The hole on the Pentagon was twice the size of my garage door. Exactly. It was twice the size of a garage door and a plane was supposed to have gone through it. And it was like, doesn't make any sense. It just smells of, horse poo, really. What do you think about the Catholics can't come out MP but must... Oh yeah, I think that's wrong. I'm sorry. It might sound a bit... But don't forget, there's some Catholics that aren't, what's going on with Vatican at the minute and the Pope. So I'd rather have someone in of not a religion, to tell the truth. That might sound a bit like off to people who are religious, but just someone who's got a good content of character. Yes, they can. They just ain't marry the royals. To me, I think this is probably going to sound bad, but I think if you're a British citizen, a patriot, or Indigenous to the country, that's who should be an MP. And I'm not saying that isn't someone from, a different skin colour or something, because we have a lot of British patriots and people who were born here that are not just white, but bringing someone in from another country who, might not really stand for our laws and stuff, because I believe, especially if it's Islam, they don't believe in our laws. So why would you put somebody in? And I'm not saying all of them, because I know not all of them. Why would you put someone in who believes in totally different sort of traditions and maybe different ways that we do stuff, because their beliefs are different to ours? I don't get it. We couldn't go there and do that. We wouldn't be able to go there and do that. So I don't see why people should do it here. And it's not even that. Even if from somewhere else and they had different views on stuff and they sort of want to implement that over here, then to me that's wrong, because our traditions and our values and stuff like that should be kept in our country. Oh yeah, it is two-faced. I know what you're saying, because I don't mean there shouldn't for definitely not be people like that, as long as their intentions are good and this, that and the other that I've said before, but I know what you mean. It's two-faced and it's double standards all the time, because everything that seems to be going on at the minute is double standards. Like the thing with Trump, again, just because it is a good example, is when Roseanne was calling, is it Valerie Jarrett or whatever her name is, this, that and the other, and then the media go mad. To have a royal marriage, at least one of the happy couple have to be a royal. Yeah, they both aren't royal anyway. And there's a lot of this going on. There's been a lot of this name calling, and they all, well, she's in from another regime, isn't she? That's what Roseanne was pointing out, the word in the middle. But there's other people that have been calling each other. So as soon as Roseanne said it, she's got to get fired from, the programme, the Roseanne show, this, that and the other, she should apologise. Yeah, that side, if you want, if we're going on the left and the right, they're the left, they're the ones that don't care. They have called Trump really bad names. So if Roseanne called Valerie Jarrett, whatever her name is, whatever the thing was, Planet of the Apes thing, but that side have also called Trump an orangutan, because he said he's orange and his hair. So, double standards. But they all went mad. And she had to apologise. Yet they've said disgusting things about Trump. Trump's son, if you've heard the latest. But it's double standards, because that doesn't matter. But we'll just report on, what Roseanne said or whoever said, but we won't actually report on their side what the disgusting things that they've been saying. Hi, it's my friend Literal, it is. That's okay. But you know what I mean? There's double standards all the time because they're allowed to say what they want. Yet when someone else goes and says it who supports Trump, there's a big uproar and it's double standards. Never apologise for the things. Well, the thing is today, as we all know, everybody is wrapped up in cotton wool today. Everyone is offended. Not everyone, most people are offended by like everything. Everything. And they will throw the race card out there and the religion thing. And it's like, I actually saw someone today called Luke, I don't know what his second name was. And I am bringing this up because it was an example. And he went over to a stand where they were giving out stuff for the, what did they say, Religion of Peace, Islam. And he just went up and said something. And then this guy got very aggressive behind the stand. And he was saying, he said, well, but he started again, well, you're racist. And the guy said, he said something about Muslims. And he said, no, that's fine. He says, but Islam is not a race, it's an ideology. And he kept saying, but it's religion, but you're racist. He said, Islam is not a race, it's an ideology. And I just thought, and the guy behind the stand just got really mad and wanted the guy to go away and was showing his aggression and all that, seeing as it's supposed to be quite peaceful. But it's true, it's not a race, it's an ideology. Because the only thing people are putting out there is all Muslims are bad. No, not all Muslims are bad. There's some that take it to the extreme when they say the extremists of Islam. Islam is not a race, it's an ideology. Valerie Jarrett is Iranian. Roseanne was spot on. I didn't see the end of that. Yeah, Roseanne said something at the end of the day that was true. And she didn't like the truth coming out, so it was all like, oh, it's racist. Valerie Jarrett was Iranian. Roseanne was spot on. Valerie Jarrett was Barry... I can't say that word. Yeah, handlers. There's a lot of handlers in these things, for those of you who know. They get handled by, they have handlers of the people that are controlling them and stuff like that. It's like when these young people start in the pop industry and stuff like that, I'm not saying everybody, especially but like in Hollywood, they introduce them in, you know, the young kids, and you see it like, especially for example, the girls that come in at a very young age, they're on the Disney Club, they're on these little teeny bopper programs, everybody loves them. They grow up. You're still not convinced I'm Carla from Coronation Street. People used to say that ages ago. Only a little bit. Hi, Gavin. And they bring them in and they're all nicey and they're all like young girls, you know, and pretty, nicey. Yeah, it is a political ideology. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And yeah, Nickelodeon and all them sort of things. So all the young, you know, the young ones like, oh, like Britney Spears, who's the other one who's Britney Spears' friend? Christina Aguilera, all them sort of people. And they come in and they're all nicey. And then they go through that, like people might say they're growing up, they go through that bit of rebellious thing. And then it seems to be very sexualised. But they have handlers. They're like groomed in a way in the business from a very young age. And it's all to pump out all this stuff out there, if you know what I'm talking about. And I don't know who said the other day on my video saying about the satanical signs that you see in the videos when I told you to go to another video the other day and someone said they couldn't believe it, they actually saw it. And normally you just think it's quite arty-farty, the background stuff that's going on, which you don't normally look at. Macaulay Culkin, I bet I've not said that right, he was very young, everyone loved him. But has anyone seen his latest stuff on YouTube? They all said, oh, he was on drugs and this and that, because they do ruin career. If you want to speak out, you either get killed or they ruin career. So Macaulay Culkin has a YouTube channel. I don't know if it's called McCulkin, I don't know what it's called, but he's done some really, I know they're not strange because I know what he's saying. He's not talking on them, but he'll do something like this. He'll sit there, and he just sat there, and he was just eating a pizza. And that was a video. Pizzagate. And then another video he did, he was I think he's been wearing rabbit ears, you know, like down the rabbit hole. Doesn't really speak a lot. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Pizzagate. He was just eating a pizza. He didn't say anything. He was just eating a pizza. Then he did another one where he was, I can't remember, he's had like little signals, you know, in either in the back of his video or he's doing something. And if you follow Q and you know what he's saying. Like the Pizzagate thing, I knew straight away what he was saying, even though he wasn't saying anything, he was just eating a pizza. Because he would have known if he's trying to speak out, because that's what I believe he's doing. He's not saying it. He's just putting it out there in symbols, sort of thing. Because he would have been involved in that because he was a child star from a very young age. Imagine how easy it is to groom them from young. You don't really know anything different in that environment and that industry because that's how they work on them in Hollywood. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's not. We have a lot over here, and they're not all terrorists, but people will say that. But that's why people have got to come over the borders legally and not illegally. That's where people get mad and have a problem with it. But I know what you're saying. But yeah, I feel sorry for these child stars because, and they're also perceiving out to our young generation that it is great to be famous and you're getting all this money when really behind the scenes that is not what's going on. I'm not saying everybody. And then you're getting people like I said the other day, Clint Eastwood, Mel Gibson, Rocky, what's his name, Sylvester Stallone. There's lots of people standing up. And I thought Robert De Niro would be one of them, but he's not. He's one of them. He doesn't care. I thought he'd be a good one. That's why they said it's going to surprise you. When I said today that, or yesterday, whatever, I don't even know what day it is, some people will need to go to hospital when they find out the truth, especially with people they've looked up to for a very, very long time. Like, a lot of people really love De Niro's films because he was a good actor, you know, in his films. But when you're going to find out about these people you've really looked up to, like they said, don't look up to them like stars and gods because they're not. You're going to be really surprised. And most of the people whose careers have been ruined and they've put it out in they've put it out in the they've put it out in the papers and on TV about oh, you know, they've got a drug problem or they used to beat the girlfriend or they've had to go to prison because they were selling drugs or they were doing something that would rip their career apart. That's how they do it. It's mainly money and drugs that mess them up. Well, they get into them industries and they do drug them up and they blackmail them with certain things, like they go to all these parties and, you know, they're having drink and drugs and all that and they don't know, they're out of their heads, and the next minute they're waking up and someone's took a picture of them next to a young girl, and then it's like, do as you're told, or this is going out to the world, or you're going to be seen as you're a paedophile or whatever. That's how they blackmail people in the industry. Yeah, exactly, Dad. Hollywood is full of sickos. We all know when you go into the symbol thing again, they say Hollywood stands for Hollywood in and what that is a sign of is a holly stick is a wand for magic. And if people are going to go, what the frick's you talking about now? They do magic in Hollywood, and the way they do it is how they project the visions out to you and how they use symbolism in the films. You only have to go and watch a lot of videos, music videos, especially people at the minute like Jay-Z and Beyonce, and you're not normally looking at hidden symbols in the back. But like I said, the other one the other day with Ariana Grande, No Tears, and there was another one. A part of her video, I paused it and I really looked at it really closely. It's a lot of one eye drawings on the floor, a big magnifying glass over a picture of two eyes, but just over the one eye. That's a symbol of the Illuminati. There was 3 heads on the floor because she took a face off in the video, so she had a blank face. There was faces, 3 faces on the floor, which I saw as see no evil, speak no evil, See no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, because they basically got to shut up. And there was a few jigsaw pieces on the floor, so it didn't make sense. There was a letter on the floor with writing on it. One said blood, I'm sure it said blood, breathe, something else. God is a woman, which to me that says there's that thing again of the feminist pushing God is a woman, you know, trying to demonize men again. Yeah, look how many films have black and white tiled floors. Where's that book? And guess what, guys? You know when the royals got married? If anyone saw it, I didn't want to watch it, but I went to my friends and they are that family that watched the royal family, and I just sort of sat there for 5 minutes, like, do we really have to watch this? And guess what sort of floor they walked down in the cathedral? Checkerboard. See this? This book, I've still not read it yet, is about getting into an industry and all this, that and the other. They're dressed in red and black, that's satanical. The flooring's satanical. The wedding, if you didn't look, if you go and watch a video, they're walking down a checkerboard floor. The Illuminati use checkerboard floors. The Masons use checkerboard floors with all the signs in there. That's in a lot of things as well, like the Star of the Eastern Star and this, that and the other. Checkerboard floor, we're talking about it's the game, the game of checkmate. Checkerboard floor, black and white, is duality. It's duality, it's good versus evil. Thanks. I'm not really that clever, but I just sort of, I can't get it out properly, but I know what I mean. But checkerboard floor. And funny enough, that guy I was talking about, Triple X Tentacion, which I can't say his name, who got killed, he had black and white hair. That's why they say with the Illuminati, you'll see someone, they have hair and all of a sudden they dye it bright blonde. Who's dyed the hair bright blonde at the minute? Say the MK Ultra thing. They always chop the hair off. Who chopped the hair off really short and has gone really blonde again? Flat palm in the waistcoat. What's that mean? Who has got really blonde short hair at the minute? The greatest fear is the public knowledge, exactly, in the silence. Oh, carp fishing. Oh, yeah. Will you stop mentioning that? What's she called? Katy Perry. I'm thinking about her. She's had a song with Egyptian things in it. She's had all of her cut off blonde. She's blonde. And she went after a nunnery, not a nunnery, was it some house that was left to some nuns? And she wanted it, and then they had a big debate about it, and didn't they go to court, and then this really old woman, this nun, died the day after or in court or something weird like that. Thank you. Ooh, it'd be like a dating site. Well, I actually think men, real men, want a real woman and not these ones that are bashing men all the time. I think they're quite sick of it. Because I've seen in comments sometimes men will say, oh, I'm sick of these feminists, and is there any real women out there? But there is real women out here. We are the ones that, you know, we are out here. It's an Illuminati thing. Look at Tom Hanks. Yeah, Tom Hanks. Look at what's his face? The guy who played The Mask. What's it? Jim Carrey? He's been doing some really weird videos. He's been doing a video, silent, in the Arizona desert as a veteran. And there's a girl there, and someone's asking, have you seen this girl? Does anyone know what's going on in the Arizona desert at the minute? Because that's a bit odd, isn't it? Oh, Transformers. But that plays a big thing. Yeah, free Tommy. Because also the Freemasons, when I've seen the signs in the Freemasons of little video clips I've watched, there's the Eastern Star. There's the Eastern Star in a lot of things. A lot of people's beliefs. Archway. they have lots of signs on their ceiling and stuff, and the Freemasonry thing, which to me looks a bit like a triangle again. It's all Illuminati. It's Scientology lot. Exactly, it's all the same thing. It's a pyramid thing again. And I'm sure, haven't they got something in their signs for Egyptian signs as well? Again, because funny enough, it's the triangle, the pyramid. Yeah, there's a poem, isn't there? The Wrath of the Saxon. Is it when the what's that poem called? Is it when the Saxon began to hate, or when the something or other? Can't remember. If anyone's just popped on, that is the dirt that comes out of your tap water, because I've got a water distiller, and that's what's left when the water's distilled. It's disgusting. Oh yeah, but Hollywood, what I was saying, was magic. They use symbolism and they put it out there. You know when you get what's he called? Jay-Z and everyone all doing this up to the sky and all this. And that lad I was talking about again, that XXX triple X or whatever he's called, Tentacion, who I've just found out about, is actually he got killed. He was only about 20. He was having a bit of beef with who did I say his name was? Drake. Don't follow him. And he did say on one of his videos something about, if you're going to sacrifice me. And he was a bit like, oh yeah, because we all know what happens, don't we? And now he's dead. And guess what tattoo he had on his head as well? The Tree of Life. You could tell he knew a lot for his age, and that's what I'm saying about handlers, would have been his handler, because he came from, I think he came from a poor family, and his mum wasn't always there because she was trying to, work all the time to get food on the table and all that. And that's what they go for, the vulnerable. The young and the vulnerable. And it's just a loss when you find out. That's why I said it's going to really hurt some people, with people that you thought were good who aren't, and then people who you've realised that have passed away, that the news were putting out they've passed away in a certain way, which isn't true, because they've either been murdered or whatever, and they were good people. And a lot of them are, it's just a shame, especially singers and actors who were, should still really be here, but they're not. I only just found out about him the other day, and I was like, what a shame. He was very clued up with how things work, in the Matrix and all that sort of stuff. Because you think a lot of today's youth are lost and they're brainwashed, and, you hear that snowflake thing all the time. Not all of them are. Not all of them are. But has anyone seen the videos on Brexit? Oh, and I tell you what, I got a lovely message off, I don't know if he's watching, Eddie is okay. So that was good. It's nice to get comments off people who do put out videos out there, who are trying to report on other stuff that go to the marches, and are trying to report about stuff now. Transformer traffic lights, what's that? What's transformer traffic lights? What are they? Or do you mean the transgender ones, where they're trying to get the ones with the dresses on because it's offending women, even though most women today wear trousers, so what does it matter? Who really looks at the traffic lights? Do you only look at the traffic lights to really watch the colour to go to green to cross the road? You don't think, oh my god, how sexist is that traffic light because it's got pants on? It's like, most women wear trousers, they wear jeans and jeggings and leggings and whatever, so why would you be offended by it? But that's another agenda issue. Not gender, agenda. Agenda 21. I have no energy today, that's why I'm a bit lagging, because I've been out in the sun. I get hay fever, which makes my eyes water, and it's been quite warm, so I feel quite tired. But I'm just hoping that I've woke some people up and they're starting to look at things different, you know, like in the news, if you're still watching the news. Oh, by the way, I didn't watch it, but I believe, and I don't think it was a conspiracy theory, I believe, oh, Stefan's good. It don't matter, it's a friendly troll. Anything you say, won't agree with it. You probably won't agree with this. The results of the England today was 6-1, was it? But even though my dad was saying it was quite easy to win that team anyway, but never mind. Whose site do they keep closing down? Stefan's. I'm not surprised. Anyone who's telling truth, they're trying to shut down and they're trying to shadow ban as well. How dare women wear trousers? That is male. Exactly. Exactly. Well, apparently, I don't know if Eddie will see this, but Eddie is okay channel. My dad went to try and find it, and it doesn't sort of come up. And I know that on Red Pill Phil, he put a link in there, so I went through it that way. But he's talked about shadow banning. If people are talking the truth, it's like my video I did on Tommy Robinson. I got 1,000 likes on it, I think it was, because I got about 14,000 views on it anyway. And then it stopped, and I thought, you know, when the shadow ban, like, you might have more subscribers than you think, or your likes might be more than you think, and then it sort of stopped at that. And you get shadow banned and stuff, and then they try and, like, I've had a few videos that I noticed yesterday that was stopping when I was talking and stuff. You get shadow banned. Yeah, that's what my dad said. You have to go on. If you're looking for Eddie is okay, if he comments, I'll ask him. You have to go on Red Pill Phil, where he's doing an intro bit for Eddie is okay, and it's Michael Jackson music instead, Good Smooth Criminal. And if you look at the links below, it's got his channel there, and you have to go through it that way. I don't know why it's not doing it. Probably because Eddie is okay did a fantastic speech in Trafalgar Square a few weeks ago about the 3 boys, if anyone's heard the story of the 3 boys that got murdered, basically. And it was just a really heartfelt speech about people uniting, and the people who aren't uniting with us, you know what I'm talking about, the people who are not standing up with us, the people who are not there, obviously don't care about kids. Yeah, he's great. And he did, I don't know if anyone's seen the speech, but it made me cry. Hi Tapper 777. Tucker how to Tucker what? I'm just trying to think what I've seen today, because I've seen so much today. Like, things kept popping up. We're still all waiting for the Q&A, obviously. Free Tommy. Oh, they just make me laugh. But honestly, if you see, what's the new video? There's a new video. Yeah, exactly. Cover up like everything else is covered up. The Jay-Z and Beyonce, their couple of new songs that have come out. What they're going on about in that. It's just ridiculous. But if you see that flaw in a lot of things, you know why. It was at the wedding. Because I'll tell you what I'm sick of. People going, oh, let's sing a song on the march. Let's sing God Save the Queen. I'm like, she doesn't care. She knows what's going on. Checkerboard floor. Yeah, Eddie is okay altogether, but you can't seem to go there. I'm trying to think where the checkerboard... Yeah, you've got a checkerboard floor in their cathedral where they got married, probably in the palace as well. You've got checkerboard floors in the Masons, especially the big place where they all meet, the big masonry meet up. Eddie Izzard is not okay, yeah. Somewhere, and if you think about it, if a satanical thing, a lot of the colour is red, right? What do they roll out for the stars in Hollywood? What do they always roll out thinking they're like mega, you know, mega something important? I believe it's a red carpet. The carpet of sacrifice. If you come in, you've got to sacrifice someone in your ring, which normally that's what you've got to do. You've got to sacrifice something if you sell your soul to the devil. What's that? But has anyone heard of any doorknobbing lately? Because I don't know if there's been a police hat. What do you mean? You know, has anyone heard of any more suicides yet? I tell you what, I've just been going around YouTube just hashtagging QAnon everywhere, even in things that people don't know. Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. The police have a checkerboard on the hats, and they also have a star. And isn't it more like, let me draw it, isn't it more like this? Isn't the star a bit more like that, like the Eastern Star thing? That sort of shape, not like a thingy star. How do you sub to QAnon? Dad, you can go and Google, I think it's QAnon, oh, who knows the site, QAnon.pug, is it? That just gives you the drops. You might not be able to get your head around it. Let me see. But it gives you the codes. QAnon.pub, if you Google that, and is that all you say? That's all you say. You just make me laugh. You just keep you like an echo chamber. Echo, echo, echo. The indigenous people will get their country back. That's all I'm saying. And it comes up like that. These are what the codes look like. Hang on. Probably. How do I? Let me find one that says something. Right, oh, here's one. Here's one. This is how they go. This is reading one from the 21st, because he's gone quiet at the minute because we're waiting for something. So, we stand, we fight together. Organised riots being planned. Counter measures in place. Resistant far smaller than portrayed by MSM. Underlined. Attacks will intensify. You collectively are a massive threat. We know we are. Censorship applied to scale down. Impact. Reach. It's failing. Trust yourself. What did you say? What was the other one the other day? What would you say was the best places, Dad, to this is QAnon.pub. There is channels called X22 Report. That is an easier way of getting your head around it. They've got loads. They normally post daily-ish if there's been a Q post. X22 Reports. If you want to try and go and get your head around it, figure out what's going on. There's Deception Bytes, and it's BYTEZ, I think. Deception Bytes. But go through DuckDuckGo, not Google, Chrome, etc. But Dad said go through DuckDuckGo. I go through Google, Dad. I haven't got that one. Public knowledge is the greatest fear. That's why they're running scared now, because the public are waking up. There's more of us than there is of them. So once the public has woken up in every country around the globe, that's what I mean. Once you've seen, you can't unsee. They know we know the truth. They know we know the lies that they're putting out. I'm trying to find the one here that said something about, like, this is another one. We told you proofs were going to be important very soon. We know it's coming. New eyes, be ready. And I think it's new eyes if it's in new people are getting queued as well. 5 by 5. We thank you for your service. But one of them is... Yeah, he is fascinated. I'm fascinated with them. Yeah, Citizens Investigative Report, SGT and Capital Report. They're really good as well. You just need to go and check these channels out. Where's the other one? Ooh, what's this? Hang on a minute. What's that? He actually did a Q sign when he was talking. He was talking with his hands like this, and President Trump went, and it was great. Oh yeah, 5G. I'm trying to find the one he said about Iran the other day, which we know now, the people of Iran, the regime is falling and they're standing up and, they're standing together. There's a guy there with a Q-top on, and President Trump is, see the guy there with a Q-top on, and he's pointing him out. I've got my Q-top coming. It's not here yet. I'm trying to find, let me see. Oh yeah, and there was a guy at a rally. This woman puts tweets out. I'm at the Trump rally, waiting in a huge room full of people to get in, and a guy gets on a table. This is what happened. A guy gets on a table. Yeah, Solvent Green is people is really funny. You want to go on, that's hilarious. A huge room full of people to get in, and a guy gets up on the table, starts talking about Q. He starts chanting, "Where we go one," and a load of people shout back that no, "We go all," because that is a thing, where we go one, we go all, because it's everyone around the globe. We go one, we go all. I'm trying to find. See, this was days ago, and we know what's happening in Iran now. So here's one of them anyway. It says, FF prevented. Next, immigration. Child separation. Child spelt different with a K where the D is. Narrative change. Critical. Iden. Talking points. Distract. IG report. We know about the IG report. Hearings. Korea. Iran. Next. Regime in trouble. People awake. Protection. These people are sick. Winning. Q. I'm trying to find the other one. Look at a soldier on his hat. Where we go one, we go all. Yeah, where we go one, we go all. I'm trying to find the one with, let's see if I can find it. But if you go on all these other videos, it breaks these down really easy, because they are a bit like, if you don't know about it, you won't really get your head round. Yeah, you need a tinfoil hat on. Don't know where mine is. I'm trying to find, but try and go to them channels, what I've said, and you'll see if you get your head round it. I think I've gone past it. Oh, here we go. This one says, from the 19th of June, free Iran, fight, 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 regime change, because the regime's falling. They're under a regime. People have the power. We stand with you, Q. That's why people are hashtagging QAnon everywhere. If anyone's seen the picture in Barcelona, someone has sprayed on the wall, hashtag QAnon. That's what I was saying. For these people who don't think it's gone global, it's a global phenomenon that's going on. Everybody, if you're in the know, a grabbing onto it, an awakening. And if you keep seeing Q things, I've had this in my window today. I just shoved it in my window, just in case anyone comes across it and think I've seen that. Like, I've just stuck that in my window today. I painted that myself, and I walk around with it when I go shopping, just to get it in people's head. Like, they won't know what that is, but when I go shopping, I'm just hoping that if someone saw that and just thought, oh, that's weird, don't know what that means, and then maybe they went on YouTube and like, oh, I've seen a few people talking about QAnon. What is that QAnon thing? They go and hashtag it, and they might find some information out. Well, where's your town? Because I tell you what, he's welcome in the UK. He's definitely welcome over here. He is coming over next month, and he's coming to see the Queen. Whoop, whoop. And we're supposed to be having. Did anyone see the video I said the other day about Avi Venny? I can't remember what his name is, in Australia, who's doing rallies for Tommy, and they actually got a plane in the sky and they wrote Tommy, free Tommy, in skywriting in the sky over Sydney Opera House. I think that's amazing. Well, don't worry about it. He's coming to the UK. He's not going to Warrington, so you're all right. He's going meeting the Queen. Yeah, is it Avi Yemi? And it was amazing. People are getting quite creative now. And Daddy Dragon was saying the other day off with People 24/7, they're getting, what are them air balloon things called? With Trump's face on it. I hope they do it. I will absolutely laugh my head off. You know, with that big cheesy grin he's got? I'm like, yes. I believe they're even trying to get rid of, what's the little froggy thing called? So I was watching Janice, I can't remember her second name, the woman who runs for the UNMP thing, I don't know what they're called, and she did the speech and they cut her off. And they're trying to get rid of, what's the little froggy thing called? The little internet, probably don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Janice Atkins, she's brilliant. She's brilliant. She was down there at Brexit marches. She's just brilliant. Really good woman. But they were good marches, but what they failed to show on MSM is yes, they did have a big march for anti-Brexit, but they also had a big march for pro, but they weren't really, hiya, hello. They didn't really report much on the pro-Brexit, because obviously to the masses of the ones who are watching telly, yeah, free Tommy in the skies, they just wanted to put their narrative out of like, that's how most of Britain think. Britain are anti-Brexit when we're pro. And the thing is, we voted for it, that vote won, so at the end of the day, frig off. It won, the people have spoke, and that's that. And it was quite funny as well, because the woman, I think she's called Tracy, if anyone's seen her, blonde hair. Avi is a legend, he is really good. She's got blonde hair and she's been doing a lot of talks on YouTube about the girls who've been raped and stuff, and the 3 boys that got killed. And she was walking through with Janaea and Red Pill Phil, and they were walking through where the anti-protest was starting, getting funny looks and all that, because Janaea had a top on it said out, meaning out of the EU. And she even said, Tracy said, I think she's called Tracy, she said, they can march all they want. She went, because look at them, you can just, she went, they can march all they want because it's never going to happen. They're not going to try and flip the vote. It's not actually, because it was on the BBC, I saw it on YouTube, and Reverend Simon Sideways was on it, which was hilarious, but I think they've done more coverage on the anti thing. I think they've done. Even if they've covered it both, I think they will try and put out mostly that we're for anti of how I know how they work. So I don't know, it's just bonkers. And then we've got, what have we got coming up soon? We've got, I believe next month on the 14th, it's the next Tommy March. And then I think somewhere around that weekend, I don't know if it's the 12th or the 13th or Trump's coming over. Although there's also hashtag, when you're hashtagging and it's Save Tommy, there's also Save, is it Melanie? Who's been in prison went to prison for the wrong thing again, trying to speak out about, stuff. But I can't remember when Trump's coming over. He's coming over, I'm sure he's coming over about the same sort of week. Oh yeah, she's one of the mothers. Yeah, Tracy's one of the mothers of the boys who got murdered, basically. Yeah, she's really great. It's just disgusting. But yeah, Trump's coming over. I mean, that's the next London march, I think. I'm sure they'll have others around, and they're still doing it globally. Tracy Blackwell. Yeah, she's got a channel, hasn't she? Has anyone seen the channel with the policewoman? This is what people don't get either. There's been quite a couple of retired policewomen and policemen that are talking about how they're disgusted with, how Tommy went to prison and all that sort of stuff. Will Trump ask for freedom of speech? I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know if he can, but at the end of the day, I know he's going to be talking about something to somebody. That's why I say Tracy was saying that it doesn't it doesn't matter how much they put out in the press about we're going to stay in the EU or these people were marching anti. She said they can march all they want. She said because it's not going to happen because, like I said, there was even people down there who weren't English and they were even saying at the end of the day the people have voted and it's what the people have voted. Basically, you can't not just because it's not with what they want. They're trying to say, oh well, have another roll of the dice then. You know, it's not going to happen, and I believe that as well because I know what's going to happen. Someone's coming over for a word. Things are going to change. We will be out of it. It might take a bit of time, but we will be out of it. Oh, he is a top geezer. He's a top geezer. He does swear a bit, and he does have a bit of a drink, but you know that's what we do. Trump has much more dirt on every country. There will be exactly. He's got loads of dirt, even on the royals. So things are going to change. You might not think it, but it is. Things are going to change. It's got to be played out as it is at the minute. But, what was that comment then? Simon sideways to geezer, but he made me laugh because I'm sure today he went to the marches in London. He slept in his van last night with the Welsh guy. I can't remember what he calls him because they were doing recording in Speaker's Corner. He slept in his van. He got up with a hangover because he had a few drinks like he always does. He has his fizzy coffee, as he calls it. And he had a hangover and he started swearing and then realised he was on Reverend Sideways Family Channel, which that's the one where he's not supposed to swear that much on it. But he forgot. But he did have a hangover. He's so funny. Oh, the biased Welshman, yeah. He's just great. And I tell you what else I liked about the marches when the bagpipes came out. That was great as well. All coming together. Well, the EU is ignoring. Well, they sort of are ignoring the protests because obviously it's not what they want, but they can just. I don't know. The thing is, things are changing, and they will change for the better. And you know, they can put out what they want on mainstream media to make other people feel like something's happening that's not happening. They can put all this spew out because they're soon going to be shown for what they are. Yeah, raw sewage. I'll tell you what else I saw today in a video. There was a young lad, if anyone's seen the marches, who obviously marching for Brexit. And I've seen him with a Tommy banner and all that, with the Tommy one. And does anyone know the EU is a failed project? Exactly, it's a project and it's failed. It doesn't work, so we don't want it. Every country doesn't want it. It doesn't mean we can't be friends with neighbouring countries, we just don't want it. The EU will collapse. It's collapsing. Yeah, we'll all see it. All you that don't believe it's going to happen. Yeah, Merkel, you're going down with May as well. But it was on today on one of the videos. Red Pill Phil. No, it wasn't. It was Busker Park because he's good as well. And the police were there again. They weren't that bad. They said they were in soft uniform this time. Exactly. And they were asking for his name and address, you know, his details. He hadn't done nothing wrong. They said he was supposed to have looked like someone who was causing some trouble. The Great Deception, by Booker and North, is a great book that tells the true story of the EU project. Yeah, Welsh-based man was being called a racist. Oh, you always get called a racist in Speaker's Corner if you're not liking an ideology. You get called a racist at the end of the day. But it's double standards because they're allowed to say anything they want about Christianity and it doesn't matter. But what was I saying then? I don't know what I was saying then. Was I still talking about the EU thing? It's just not going to happen the way they want it to happen. They've got to portray it out there like it is. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, the lad. So the police were asking him for his name and address, saying he'd had a description, it looked like him. So guess who came over to save the day? Like Superwoman. Guess who it was? Guess who it was? It was Amy, the bacon lady. She came over. She put her arm around him because he's only young, and she said to the police, "What do you want his details for?" And they were like, "Well, we've seen it, blah, 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 blah." He wasn't doing anything. And she went, "Well, you're not taking his details." And she went, "Don't give your details out." And she went, "We're sick of you using your authority." She went, "You need to go out there and catch the real criminals and stop being so pathetic." And this policeman was like, "Ugh." Now, the other day, he probably would have got done, but she just went on and on about it, got him away, said, "Just walk off." And he went, "Well, are you going to arrest me?" And he went, "No." He went, "Well, see you, bye." And she took him away. She went, "I'm not having it." She went, "They're using their authority to go after people for nothing when really they should be sorting these stabbings out and everything that's happening in London instead of sitting behind, thought police." Stop, I've got bacon. Yeah, they call her the bacon lady because I think she was in Speaker's Corner and she had ham sandwiches, but obviously it was offending people down there because it was bacon. Or whatever. So, yeah, so she saved him. Because what a lot of people don't know is there's certain, I don't know all the jargon, but certain rules and things to give out. They can't take your details if you actually haven't done nothing wrong, or, they've not really got anything on you, the evidence or whatever. They just try and do that because then they want to cause trouble with you. But some of the attitudes, and not all of them, some of the attitudes of the police lately, obviously we know why, are absolutely disgusting. Not all of them. They said they weren't that bad on this march. They were in soft uniform because the other week they looked like stormtroopers. And that's what they said. They look like stormtroopers with all the marching in. No, actually, they look like Nazis. That's what they look like. I'm sorry, someone said that on there. That's what somebody said. They did. The way they marched in, and they were all in black, and they were all in the hard uniforms and everything. Yeah, give an inch, take a mile, whatever the saying is. But that's why I said on someone's channel today, fly your flags high. Someone was saying something about flags today, and I went, fly them high. It is our flag of our country, so why shouldn't we fly our flag high and proud? Be proud to be British, English, Indigenous, white, because there's this thing going around that we are made to feel crap because we're white. Yeah, St George's Cross flags. I really want to get a flag and then get out my window. Did you see the BBC Three bit? I don't think so. We are reclaiming it back. Every country, not just us in the EU, are claiming back their country. It's just disgusting. I suggest you all start buying Q t-shirts and getting it out there. Former French president charged with corruption. Next, Obama and Clinton. Yay! When was that? I think I saw that actually, but that just recently. Yes. Nicolas Sarkozy, I can't say the name. Former French president charged with corruption. There's corruption in every single country around the globe. When people talk about deep state, yes, this is England. What people don't realise is the deep state is in every country. It's not just, the deep state is in America. It's in every country. Sarkozy, I can't say that name either. I'm not very good at pronouncing things. But yeah, this is England, believe it or not. And if you're offended by that, well, it's tough because at the end of the day, it is England and it is Great Britain, and we are taking our country back, whether you like it or not. I do believe there's some that really wish they weren't doing what they were doing at the minute. If you know what I mean. I couldn't do that job and be like, knowing that I was going against the people. Free Tommy! Not heard much, so I'm drinking it. I need to go and get some water. I also believe that Red Pill Phil was having a discussion with... No, I won't. I'll be alright. With, was it Spartica? With, Eddie is okay. And then tried to sort of tell him, but I don't think he knew about it, about... who was it, Dad, with the pig's head thing, doing things with the pig's head? What's his name? God, what was his name? Cameron, yeah, see, you know. And he didn't know, and he was sort of telling him, and he was like, what? Yeah, who does that? That's what I mean. And we've got people like that who are trying to run our country. Oh, I'm fine. No, I'm not upset. I was just laughing about something. I'm tired, actually. I've got hay fever, and it makes my eyes water and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows about that story. I have heard of it, but I don't think I was going to say Eddie Izzard. Eddie's okay actually knew about that. When people wake up, the world has initiated, I can't even speak today, the movement. The people have to carry it through, yeah. Gran Torino's lurking. I have told people to come over to Gran Torino's channel because he does a lot of videos, interviews. Got a few good well, you've got a lot of good interviews. Yeah, David Cameron, and he does. I am half asleep. He does resignation videos from all over the globe, and you've got to wonder why these people are resigning or ending up dead. And he's got all the charts on there with all the information on. So if you go over there, you can see all the resignations that you don't get told about on mainstream media. It is going to be amazing, Adam Warlock. It is. Why do we need to read the Bible? Well, you can read the Bible if you want. I brought one just to have a nosy in it. But Gran Torino's got a really great channel. But like my dad said, we're going to wake up. The thing is to talk about Trump. Hey, Grand. Waxman's in. The great thing about Trump and Q is it's just like I was saying before, it's to get us researching and telling us stuff so we can research, but then we the people have got to follow through with all this stuff, so we have got to get out there doing stuff, talking about it, trying to red pill people. That's what they say. It's trying to get putting them little, what's the word, you don't have to do it abruptly, but just getting them little messages to them that when they start seeing things, they're going to see, like, you know, how mainstream media lie and stuff like that, and then they're going to start realising, you know, all the corruptness, and to start standing up, like with Brexit, and doing what we should really be doing, even though we know that's going to be all right. I better be on my best behaviour. Yeah. He was saying the other night that he told me that you were trying to when you were trying to put your green screen up, it was, you looked like you were invisible, like you had no body. Has anyone ever told you that you could talk? Yes, I can talk. I don't even know what time it is. I can talk the hind legs off a donkey because I am a chatterbox. And I was thinking this the other day, you know, all these corrupt people who've got chat shows. I've got a chat show, I'm on here, but I could just be a chat show host that could just have a random channel about randomness. I like talking. I could stay on here I could stay on here for 10 hours and just talk waffle about anything. Really. Yeah, I did stop for the English game actually, and I didn't actually watch it because I went in the garden. But I did actually, out of courtesy, I did actually stop for the England game because I knew that if I came on, no one would be really watching because you were all watching football if you're a football fan. 6-1. Whoop. Filibuster. But the thing is, my dad said, well, we would have won them because I think their main thing's basketball, isn't it? Not football. But you know what? Talking about sports, don't get offended, but I do think a lot of sports are fixed because who are they funded by? And it's money, 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 advertising. What do people think about that? Because I think a lot of sports are fixed. I think we've been fixed sometimes not to win football when England have been playing out. Yeah, political. Oh, will you stop shouting Jews out? You're just making me laugh. Your vocabulary, I can't even say the word, is just that. It's just that. Not tap water. I know I'm not drinking tap water. Where's Gran Torino? I've got this Grand. This is what I was talking about on Weedy People 24/7. This is the water distiller. And this is the crap you get from the bottom of it. For those of you who didn't see it before. This is what you're drinking. That's tap water. Lovely. So I'm drinking distilled. Maybe that's what's keeping me looking young for 41. Here's one random fact for you that I think's it's pretty random, but I think, thank you, I think, you know when they're going about the Fountain of Youth and all that, and like people are wondering what the Fountain of Youth is. Do you know what it is? It's water. Pure H2 water, because there's somebody who used to talk, and I'm sure it's on the picture of Adams there, I'm sure body's made up of water, but I'm sure there was a quote that Bruce Lee said about water. I think the Fountain of Youth is water, but not water with fluoride in and chemicals, pure H2O distilled water. Yeah, be water, my friend. I don't know, I was watching a documentary on him ages ago, because he was another one who's obviously been bumped off, I think, because I believe he knew a lot more about stuff. Here's another one for you. Has anyone ever seen Gran Torino? You can try this. If you've got kids, you can try this. Bruce Lee and his son were murdered. Of course they were. If anyone speaks out about something, or they found out about something, or they've made an invention, or they've come across something by accident, and it'd be great for humanity, that's what happens. And that's what's saying it's disgusting. We've had bright people out there, lovely people for humanity, and they just get killed. But I forgot what I was talking about now. Be like water. Yeah, be like water. What was I saying? Get very distracted when you're talking in chat. What did I just mention before water? Become the cup. Someone remind me what I was talking. Oh yeah, try something. So if you've got kids, you can do this because it is really interesting. I have done this, and some people might have heard of this, and it's real. You know, they're going about energy, and when you put your thoughts out there, because I'm a bit spiritual like that, thoughts and your energies can change things. So there's a guy called Dr. Emoto. Don't know if anyone knows about the water crystals. Yeah. And I did a video, and it's out there in many of my unusual random videos that are out there, because I will talk about anything. So what you do is, if you think elites and money think people drink tap water. Yeah, I did see a documentary on the Queen. Guess what? She doesn't drink tap water. I wonder why. Certain food she doesn't eat, and they eat stuff that are grown on the land as well, probably in Balmoral. I can't even say the word, you know what I mean? And, you know, deer and stuff like that, you know, that haven't got all the poisonous crap in they put in our food, yet fluoride. So get 3 containers, and they have to be exactly the same. I had 3 little tubs, so you don't have to do a big batch of it. 3 little tubs, cook some rice off, and put the same amount of rice in each container. Oh, drink fresh, yeah, water. I don't even think we should be drinking milk, really. What other animal drinks another animal's milk? So you put the same amount of rice, right, I'm not going to look at chat a minute because I'll get distracted. The same amount of rice in a container, see-through so you can see. And then put a label on the front or write on it so you know which is one and what. One, you put love on. You write the word love. Another one, you put hate on it. The last one, you don't put anything on it. Every morning, I know this sounds mad, you either say out loud, so you can get your kids to do it if you feel stupid, or you don't have to say it out loud, you just think it and project your thoughts and your energy onto the rice. So, yeah, so the love, all you think is love, love, and you think loving thoughts. If you want to say it, you can say it, but you just think loving thoughts. I know this sounds too stupid, but just listen to what I'm saying. If anyone has read Dr. Emoto, the actual YouTube videos are out there of people doing it. So what you do is, you project love on one of them, the love one. So you're thinking, love, love, I love you, you're lovely, nice, lovely thoughts onto the love. The hate one, I tell you what I can do with the hate one. I'd have done it at the time if I'd known. So you're there with the hate rice and you're like, I hate you, you're horrible, you're ugly, oh, I just hate you. You're like Obama and Hillary, you're just disgusting, disgusting. And you just put loads of hate on it, Hillary and Obama on it. And then the last one with nothing on, you just totally ignore. You do that every morning. You only do it for like 60 seconds. Guess what happens? And I've done it. It's real. I've done the experiment, the Dr. Emoto experiment. The one you put love on, projecting love, they start getting mouldy. My love one had a tiny little bit in it, and they're all there at the same time. The one with hate on it had mould on it like you wouldn't believe. And I think the one with nothing on it didn't have anything on it, because it's saying, you know, what you project your thoughts on, what you think about affects you. So if you're always negative, like I've said in my other posts, if you're always negative, you draw negativity to you. If you're always loving and you're always positive, you draw positive to you. So I don't know if anyone's done it. If you think I'm bonkers, honest to God, do it. You don't have to say it out loud, but you can get your kids to do it every morning. But you can check it out on YouTube because it's called Dr. Emoto. The Dr. Emoto experiment. Some people do it with different things, but a lot of people do it with water. But I had the book on it. I am always away with the fairies. Everyone says that, but I am a Pisces, so you know. But I like that about myself because I do think outside the box. I trust you guys are using this like, oh yeah, you've got to like the button and everything, you know. But you can actually do it, and you can actually see my video. I get all my Scorpios, and if you YouTube Dr. Emoto's experiment, you can see it, and it's about dairy products. It's about, his thing was about water and water crystals showing up on a big magnifying glass. Yeah, we are the best, Pisces. The crystals look like little, it's really interesting as well, look like little snowflakes, you know, zoomed up higher. And they said, where there was a lake of where people, say Buddhists, were praying all positive energy, that water was, when they took the water, all right, when they took the water, they, you know, zoomed it up with a big lens thing, and the crystals were all beautiful. This might sound really out there, but it is out there on YouTube, and there's a book out on it. And then where they put a lot of hate on it, and it was in a really horrible area with lots of hate and all that, the water, they took the water crystals, zoomed them up, and they were all deformed and all evil looking and all horrible, if you know what I mean. So I just thought I'd randomly tell you. Go and do it. Go and do the Dr. Emoto experiment. Get your kids to do it. I'm in your mum's basement. Taurians. My mum and my sister are Taurians. Oh my God, they are. Well, my mum is. I'll give it to Dolly. Keep going. Happy to mod if you... Oh, yeah, thank you. I don't know if anyone mods me anyway. And I can't throw a spanner out, but I know people can block people. And my mum is a Taurian, and my sister is a Taurian, and my mum is... what do you call it? A nutcase. She's... Oh, what do you call it, Dad? A bull in a china shop. No, she's got the cleaning problem. What do you call it? OCD, like, you won't believe. She gets on my nerves. Oh, she stresses me out when I can only have her for about 3 days, and then I have to tell her to go home because she gets on my nerves. Why are you hating? I'm trying to project your hate, aren't you, of your rice experiment? Yeah, we'll just love you back. You know you like being here, really. Or you wouldn't be here, would you? He loves me, really. Yeah, I'll be on the soapbox in a bit because I'm just absolutely waffling. I said I was coming on doing his birthdays. Well, off you go. Off you go. It's only because we're not talking about Jews. That's why you're bored. I'm going now anyway because I've run out of steam. I was too tired to come on today. That's why I'm not full of beans today. I'm just hay fever. If anyone's got hay fever, then you know what it's like. Makes you feel a bit tired. But yeah, good news, 6-1. So that was good. I don't know if it was a good game because I didn't watch it. I'm not really into football anyway, but whatever. Yeah, only loving this channel, please. Because even if you stay here long enough, you might just like be on our side sort of thing. I think you're slightly on our side. anyway. Bolton Wanderers is the best. Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't follow football, so I don't know. I don't mind it, but I don't need to watch it. But I did, out of courtesy, I did let you watch football. Yeah, it was supposed to be a conspiracy chat, but went a bit off on different subjects. But just keep looking out for MSM and looking at the videos I've asked you to go and watch if you want to, and do the qanon.pub and you'll see the drops, but they're only the codes, so they're quite hard to get your head around if you're first starting out with Q. But like I said, there is the England game was a good one, but yeah. But like I said, there is We the People 24/7 soapbox where I'm going in a minute with Grand. There's Gran Torino, does a lot on resignations of all over the globe. Thousands of resignations. I wonder why. What's going on there? Yeah. And then there's Deception Bites. There's the X22 report. Hey, I've had merchandise. I had a pen. I've got a pen with Dolly Daydream on. I do make things, you know. People have seen me jewellery, and look at this. For those of you who don't know, I've made little bags before. Dolly Daydream, when I had curly hair. And I make, sometimes make little notebooks, handmade notebooks. Not that men are interested, but I'm just saying. Handmade notebooks. Who did I say? Deception Bites, X22 report. I don't know, the ones that I said before. Oh, I don't normally get a lot of trolls in here anyway. 6 likes, I'll just call you 6. 6 likes to be in here anyway. Trying to tell me about the Jews, but he knows that I just not listening really, so. For men and women out there, I hate this. You have to comment, it just disappears. Hi, Charles. For men and women out there, put your razor in the north, south. I still can't see it. Goes off too quick, doesn't stay long enough. What's your tattoo on? I have shown this before. It's don't know if you can see it. It needs finishing off this side. Needs shading, which I said the other day I thought was quite funny. It's like dark to light, you know, because the light's coming. It's just my interpretation of Mother Nature. Butterflies. I was going to have some like flowers and bumblebees and stuff, you know, nature. Which just before I go, I was in the garden today, and you know, if the bees go, we go. You know, that sort of, you know, bees pollinating things. I know I've seen a lot of bees that have died in the heat, but I've been having a lot of bees in my garden lately, which is nice. I know that's pretty random, but we need the bees, believe it or not. If the bees go, we go. And I've got sweet corn in the garden now, and it's like up here. And I'm growing some, not pumpkins, squash. Potatoes have just grown from potatoes, and they seem to be doing quite well. Bees with heat stroke. I know, I have been over to sometimes where you put a bit of water with sugar on, and they're supposed to like, you know, get the sugar intake and fly off, but there's been too many. And I'm growing tomato plants. I'm just trying a couple of things this year, even though my dad said, because my dad grew some stuff in his greenhouse ages ago, that it's not worth it, it's a load of work. But I just got quite excited about growing some sweet corn, because I think people should grow food, and there's places in America where they've been doing it in little gardens and stuff, and it's really great. They don't even want us growing our own food, because obviously they want us buying all the stuff with all the crap on it. But I just thought I'd do a little experiment and see what I can grow, and then next year I might put some more in. And I actually grew my sweet corn from I don't know if it was like birdseed stuff, because I've grown some sunflowers from birdseed. I just took the sunflowers out and stuck them in the ground, and they're growing, so that's good. I I'm not really a gardener, but I'm trying. Actually, that's another thing to talk about, food and spaces and gardens and stuff, because I think there's an agenda in that as well. I've got some stories about sweet home. Oh, I love homesteading videos. You're going to get me yakking again now. I had a nest last year that I've got rid of. Yeah, it's not good when you've got, I had one once. It's not good when, I know they're like endangered or whatever, bees, bumblebees anyway, but it is a bit of a pain if they're in your loft or in something. I had a nest in my garage once, and because I used to look after kids, childmind, and it was like, they don't really want them flying around, stinging. But yeah, it's not good when they're like that. But yeah, homesteading. I watch a lot of homesteading. Sounds really sad this, but I like it. Homesteading videos and people canning food and growing their own food. And there's a lot in the UK now on. I tell you what, I really do love watching. And I know Amanda, if you're here, hi, because there's a woman, a lovely lady called Amanda's Lockman. I love watching her allotments, and she's coming on, but apparently, I don't know if anyone knows why, she can't. I can't see her in chat and she can't comment, and I don't know how to get her back on. But if she's here, hiya. But I love watching people's allotments and what they're growing, and I just find it like they're quite relaxing. I love all stuff like that. And the biggest thing I love as well, before I go, is, I know they do a lot of it in America, is the tiny homes. When they have little tiny homes, motor homes, or little houses that they've made, and the way they do the storage and everything. They're so cute. And I love watching off-grid in America, where they live off-grid. And wouldn't that be brilliant? I'd love to live off-grid. No electrical stuff and all that. Just live out in the middle of a forest somewhere and just have your chickens and stuff. Be great. Anyone want to go? Let's go and homestead. Anybody? So I'm going to go now because I'm absolutely yakking and I'm really tired. That's why I've just got no energy today. Hay fever, and I shall see you soon. Maybe we'll get round to the point. I think we covered some things. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, I'll see you all again. I'm just probably a bit, I don't know, video was probably a bit naff today. Just a bit tired, and I'm just yakking. So check out the videos if you have to go back and look through the video. I'm going to have to start writing them down for you in the bottom. People think carrots grow in bunches. They don't. No, they don't. People think carrots grow in bunches, but actually they only grow singly. So you really have to plant a lot of carrots. That is the top tip of today is carrots don't grow in bunches. They grow singly. So you have to grow a lot of carrots. See you soon. Bye.